Can you believe it took me this long to get here? This is Constellation Tower, and today we're using a very interesting build. This is just misfortune. I have one single point in Twisted. So, the build is marginally different from the last one you've seen me use. I think I might die here. Okay. This build uses the interesting combination of Watcher's Warning and Blighted Bugle. They cover each other's weaknesses pretty well, I'd say. That's not a beneficial potion. I might still die. Oh wow, thanks Prismatic, that really helped. I really needed that boost to carry me through the survivability. Yeah, anyways. You'll notice that Watcher's Warning has magic fragility too, and Blighted Bugle has magic protection 4. So whereas before you know SKR came out and the new item came out, it was really like why would I use Blighted Bugle over just using Wolf's Blood Tome, which has, you know, similar non-magic defensive stats and of course much better damage. I mean, at the cost of evasion, right? But now it's like you have this piece which tears apart your ability to tank magic. So maybe you should pair it with the piece that lets you tank magic very well. I hope this POI gets easier because I don't think this is terrific to watch. Beyond that, there's honestly not much interesting about the rest of the build in terms of what the items are. The skills, the charms, they're very similar to... No, they're not similar, they are the same exact as what I was using beforehand. The immediate thing I'm noticing is that this build feels a lot less comfortable because unlike the last build which had regeneration 2, this thing has regeneration 0. So you have to actually like kill everything. You can't really do what I did, which was like, you know, walk in, take damage, don't really worry too much about it. In this case, you kind of have to keep moving. And if you take too much damage, you're going to have to heal by yourself. Wow, I don't know why that one encounter popped the Prismatic. The other thing I have to say, definitely less tanky. I mean, Mage is not like... It's not like it had inbuilt healing or anything. It wasn't exactly able to run into crowds and not worry too much about it. But previous build at least had like Steadfast too. And very good melee proc. This one doesn't. This one, all the budget kind of goes into like balancing projectile and magic, and the only melee prop piece is energizing closure. So it is a little bit awkward, especially because, you know, you have to get into melee range for things like Arcane Strike. I think it will be more important than ever to have the Fruits of the Catch on the hotbar for this one. Last time I wasn't really so in need of it. It was more like I have a slot, I might as well be using my healing item just in case I happen to be unable to heal off of both my Forge Flame and my Dew because they're like on cooldown and stuff. But for this one, all the healing is like self-sourced, so maybe I just need to be like a bit more decisive when I cast spells, if that makes any sense. Like, I can't like wait for the mob to react to my spell. I just have to instinctively do the spell combo and like kill things, maybe. That's not all my days. Stuff does not have the right to be dealing this much damage. Okay, I realize I've gone up the wrong direction. I cleared half of it. I did not clear the other half. The layout of Constellation is kind of weird and kind of wacky. It has a lot of areas where it's like, why would I bother going here? Because it's like symmetric and stuff. And that symmetry means that you have like you go half and half, and that means that if neither area has spawners, you can just kind of clear one, or even just clear neither. Mobility skill. Whoever tells you that Thunderstep is not a good mobility skill, they're right, but like, it has its uses. Nuh-uh. Can't explode me that easy. Moonblade taking like 3 ticks to actually pop out all of its power is a little bit awkward, but you realize quickly that it doesn't always matter. Man, why did the mob have to pop me at such low health? I feel like health is really... I don't know how to articulate it, but it's like health is very much a limited resource. I can't really get it back mid-fight. Whereas beforehand it was like, oh well, it doesn't really matter. You'll get the health back as you fight because of the regeneration. I swear I only have Legionary 2! Why are there so many mobs? Someone's sitting in my POI and griefing me at 65 points secretly. Okay, now it's a dread. I have to say, I feel like on the other build, it was really a matter of you come into an encounter with something, you leave the encounter either full health or you leave dead. This one, not so much. We're just gonna dance around that Arcanic Missile. finally acceptable fortune with that golem spawn. I'm sure we can just ignore that spectre. It's not relevant, right? Okay. And there's more mobs. I hate... Okay. What is this? Is this the special spawner type? Oh, right. They must have changed this. I didn't really... Usually I don't notice because I don't really rush the spawner before I break the... I usually kill mobs before I break spawners, but I guess in this case they changed something. I don't know how I'm gonna handle that encounter. Probably like this. I can see that Arcane missile. It's just trying to kill me, man. Oh, there's mobs here. Better get running. I must say I'm not terribly a fan of the fact that the fellas use Amethyst as their attack, and yet Constellation Tower itself features Amethyst like that. Bit harder to see the attack telegraph, especially in this area. And again, I don't really know what you change it to. Okay, now there's a dread, and my abilities are not off cooldown. Mage needs some vicious combos. This particular chest is actually a really cool chest in my opinion, because you have to break the extremely obvious trap spawner above it. The unfortunate thing is that like people with axes exist and they can just kind of cheese it by just breaking the chest itself without going for the trap spawner. I don't really know if that would be considered like just advantage of having an axe, or whether that's really not intended gameplay. I guess you could put like a spawner in front of the chest as well. Like surround the thing entirely in spawners, although the density might get a bit too ridiculous if you did that. Okay, I need my prismatic back. I need it back. Yes, good. No! I was gonna thunderstep. I forgot it was on cooldown, and so I didn't heal at all. The boss is gonna be miserable, isn't it? I mean, it's bad enough on the regeneration build, but this one just does not feature any healing, any passive healing, so I'm pretty much gonna have to live with having to stop and heal, whether it's by like Forge Flame or by potion. Not own a potion injector. It's not really a matter of funds. I could probably scrounge up enough. I just don't really want one. Where did that creeper go? Man, I lag out slightly. I see the creeper flying all the way over there. Oh, there's an Arcanic enemy. I heard the Arcanic missile absorb into a block. But damn, I thought with the amount of magic prod I had and the evasion, I didn't think the Arcanic missile was gonna do much, but that was still 2 hearts. Kind of concerning, really. I did figure though that melee would be the main weakness in this build, so I elected to switch out my usual shield, my usual beloved Spatial Rift for Iridium Bulwark. I don't like Iridium Bulwark. I don't like how it has like unshakable dominance over most of the R3 shield economy, but I think the build calls for it, so here we are. I like being able to wipe crowds. I'm not a big fan of the one elite that just sits in the crowd and then shafts me. It is very satisfying when you're able to pull off a combo that manages to wipe the threat very efficiently though. I think the Evoker fell? No, it's over here. Do you ever get the feeling that some enhancements are made specifically for one of the specs? Like, I can't imagine a T-step U being useful at all for an elementalist. Unless you were willing to, unless you did it for the funny mobility. I mean, maybe there's a case to be made for warping in and then using a pyroclastic emesis starfall and then dipping. Ow. I mean, generally pyroclastic emesis is a very interesting charm. I cannot conceive of how you would use it in normal gameplay, but I figure if you had like a boss that stood still, like this boss actually, maybe you were for some reason playing Elementalist. I don't know why you play Elementalist. You could slot this in place of one of your like less random one charm power lessers that to increase your starfall DPS a bit. In fact, the other day I was thinking about whether there were enough quote-unquote generalist fire charms for mage to build like a decent elementalist, and I came up with, I think, Ironwood Vambrace, Moldire's Chalk, Pyroclastic Emesis, and then Lost Ruler, of course. I believe there's a couple more of the generalist, quote-unquote generalist charms. and but when I say generalist, I mean it's not just one ability. It affects like multiple. I feel like mage is somehow the only one who gets like these full like multi charms when it comes to mage is the only one who gets these multi charms. Of course, apart from the charm tier charms, the Mylacy ones. Okay. Okay, there was no Dreadlings. This was actually bad for us. Damn, I hate Evokers. But yeah, I think it's a shame that there are no other charms which buff multiple abilities. Like, I'm guessing you would be able to fit in such a charm into something with synergies, right? Something like Warlock, because a Tenebrous would always run Amplifying Hex, and a Reaper would always run Curse Wound and that kind of thing. So if you wanted to make something with synergies, you'd maybe have a charm that buffs Curse Wound and Voodoo Bonds? Or you could have something which says maybe count one of the effects of one of Warlock's random debuff skills and designate that to count like double for Amp Hex or something. Or Shaman, you could have, I mean, something similar to Ironwood Vambrace, right? Where you modify the fire and the Ice Spirit, but in this case you'd be modifying Flame and Lightning. So one of them would make you'd make one of the totems last longer and the other one cast shorter but faster. I can see why you wouldn't be able to have any sort of charm which nerfs one ability while buffing another, because then you'd pretty much just be able to pick one of the, you'd be able to pretty much just not choose the ability that got nerfed, right? I mean, that's what I thought at least, and then I found out that actually Heart of the Forge is a charm that exists, and not Heart of the Forge. Heart of the Forge was like normal when I came into R3 first. I'm thinking of Calicarpa Compound, because it actually nerfed only the it only nerfed the enhancement, and I was like, well, why would I pick the enhancement then? I just not pick the enhancement and then get like free charm budget, right? But not really how it works. You find out that the enhancement's like good anyways, and then they kind of shot that because of Heart of the Forge, and honestly kind of a deserved shot, even if it makes it a bit less fun to play. Okay, I need to clear out some of these blocks. They're sabotaging me. This boss fight is awful. Okay. I just gotta keep running in and trying to burst it down. Okay, the boss is dead, but I think I am as well. So now I need to go up there. I was going to say I had to clear out the mobs after, but I think they all despawned. So now we just walk back. Not really a fan of mobs despawning around your grave. I've said this before, but it kind of removes the, like, even more so than before, it removes the penalty for dying, because like you just need to run back and it just feels like a waste of time instead of saying like, oh man, I have to somehow fight through the mobs that are waiting for me at my grave, you know, or I've got to run through and hack them. Hack the grave before I get killed. More like, well, grab your grave and be on your way. At least I think so. I think I'm out of range on them, but Constellation Tower is kind of vertical. Oh yeah, never mind. There's just nothing. I don't know how I feel about this build. I think I would rather have used the high-base armor build, tell you the truth. Well, regardless, thanks for watching.